Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to learn one of the most important topic in Kotlin programming language, which is functions. You can see function in almost all programming language. Why is that? Why function is too important? You see function in real life, you see function in mathematics, and I'm gonna teach you its concept, and you will not need to remember its definition. So let's get started. So what you are going to learn in today's video, you are going to learn what's a function in Kotlin, why you should use function, you will learn function syntax, and you're going to learn the difference between parameters and arguments in Kotlin programming language, and you will learn what is return keyword in Kotlin programming language. And I have already recorded a video making banana shake to show you the process of function in real life example, and at the end I'm going to solve several problems to make you understand each and every part of a function. So what's a function? A function is a block of code that performs a specific task. You can reuse it as many times as needed. It can accept input and return an output. This is function written in Kotlin programming language. It performs addition. See, a function performs a specific task. What it performs? This function performs addition. You can reuse this function in your code as many times as you want. If you want to add two numbers one time and again you want to add two numbers second, as many times you need it, you can use it, this function in your code. This function can accept input. You can pass values, integer. As you can see, the data type of these two parameters are integer. You can pass only integer in this function because the data type I have already declared as an integer. For example, you can pass 5 in here, you can pass 3 in here, and it will return it is addition. As you can see, I have used a plus b. A is 5, b is 3, it will be 8, and using this return keyword, this 8 will be returned, and you can assign it later on. You can assign it to a variable or you can print it out. So in here I'm going to play the recorded video which I have made a banana shake. In that video, banana and milk are ingredients. In programming we call that inputs. When the shake is ready, banana shake, in programming that is called output. The blending part, when blender is blending the banana with milk, we don't know, it's a logic. The blender has a logic. We don't know that. We just give input, we just give banana and milk for that blender and it will blend for us. We don't know its logic, how it is blending. In programming also, when we are using a function like adding two numbers, we are passing our first value like 2, our second value like 3, and it will return for us 5. But we don't know how the programmer has written its logic, how programmer add those two numbers and give for us that 5. We don't know that logic, how it is written, and it is one of the advantage of function. The logic is hidden and we can only use its functionality. So let's see the video. Now I am going to explain what a function is by giving you a real life example making banana shake. In this example, this blender is called function and milk with bananas are called values. The process of pouring this milk to this blender and adding this banana to this blender is called passing arguments or passing values or giving input to this function. Now I am going to pour this milk to this blender and add these two bananas to this blender. This is called passing arguments or passing values to my function. And now I am going to switch on the blender. This process is called in programming calling function. Now this process of blending is called in programming function execution. Now the process of blending is done. The banana shake is ready. As you can see, in programming, this is called function output. Now, as you can see, we got the output as a banana shake. You have seen a real life example making a banana shake. I hope the concept of function is quite clear for you right now, and you are going to see the same example using Kotlin programming language in demo section. In here, you are going to learn how you can write a function in Kotlin programming language. First, when you want to declare a function, you have to use fan keyword. Then you should give a name for that function, like add numbers. When you want to make a addition function, you can use add numbers. Then you have to write its parameters. If you want to pass any value to that function, you have to write parameters like a, b, and you should declare the like type. It can be integer, string, boolean, or you can write user defined data type. In here you can pass, and you should write its return type. In here I have written integer. Again, you can write boolean, string, or any data type you want this function to return for you. Like in here I have a function to add two numbers. In here I have written int because I want to return an integer value. Again, in here you can write any data type you want, like string, boolean, etc. As you can see in here, I want to add two integer numbers. As you can see, I will pass two integer numbers. Like in here I will pass 2, and in here I will pass 3, and in here you should write your code. For example, I have written val result equal to a plus b. In here I will add this variable with this variable, this value with this value. When you pass the value, this variable, it will hold it, and again this variable will hold the second value which you will pass. And in here I'm gonna add those two values, and I will assign it to result. With this return keyword, I will return the result. In here if I pass 3, and in here if I pass 2, in here it will add it. 2 plus 3 will be 5. It will be assigned to result variable. Using this return keyword, I am going to return that value which this result variable hold. It will be 5. The 5 will be returned, and later on you can assign it to a variable, or you can print out. Function without parameters and return type. Whenever you want to write a function to do something and you don't want to return any value and you don't want to give any input, you would use from this syntax. For example, in here I want to greet a user. I want to print a message to greet a user. I would write fan greet user bracket curly bracket. Inside of that I would use from println function, and I would say welcome to the banana shake app. In here, whenever you call this function, this message would be shown on the console. How you can call a function? You can call a function by its name. When you declare the function, when you have written the function, then you can call it later on. When you want to use it, you can call it by its name. Like in here, I have a function named add numbers. It has two parameters, a, b, and a, the type of a is integer, type of b is also integer. In here, if I want to use this function, it will add two numbers. Simply I will write its name, add numbers, then inside of brackets I will pass values. As you can see, it has two parameters. I also pass two arguments, 5 and 3. A will hold 5 and B will hold 3. Then inside of this function, I have written the code. I have written the logic to add two numbers. As you can see in here, I have written a variable val result, and I have assigned it to A plus B. As you can see, this A holds 5. This A, which I have written here, holds 5, and this B, same as this, holds 3, and I have assigned it to result variable. Then using return keyword, I have returned it. 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. 8 will be assigned to result, then the value of result is 8. 8 would be returned. Now this function would return 8, and 8 would be assigned to sum variable. Using println function, I have printed, you would see in the console the sum is 8. I have mentioned parameters and arguments several times. Now I'm gonna tell you their differences. What are parameters? Parameters are variables in the function definition. As you can see, this is the definition of function. When you define a function, in here you will write your parameters. They are variable. They are placeholder for inputs. When you give input, when you call a function, in here I have called this function greet. They are placeholder for input. This is input John. As you can see, this parameter, its type is a string. It's a placeholder for a string. It will hold a string. As you can see in here, I post a string name of a person, John. It will hold it. Then inside of this function, I have used a println function, print this name. As you can see, this name, println, hello name. This is a variable, it holds this value. This is called argument. I'll tell you later on. Println, hello name. What is name? Name is John. Hello John, welcome to the Kotlin function class. This message would be shown on the console because I have called this function. Then again I have called the same function. As I have already told you, you can call a function as many times as you want. In here I have called the function 2 times. Again I have called, and this time I have passed a list. Then this function again would be called. This parameter will hold this value, this input. Alice. In here I will printed hello Alice. Welcome to the Kotlin function class. What are arguments? Arguments are actual values passed to the function. When you call a function, in here I have called the function, the same function. This John and Alice, they are actual value. When you call the function, when you pass the actual value, they are called arguments. They are real input we give. It's a real input, my value. I have passed John. And this parameter, this variable is called parameter. This will hold this and or whatever you will write inside of this bracket, and you can use this parameter inside of your function. When you call a function, you will pass a real input just called argument. Then when you call it, when you pass the argument or the value, then you can use that parameter or that variable you have written in function definition. You can use it inside of your function to write the logic. Like in here I will print the name. As you can see, it holds the name. Then I will print it hello, whatever you will write, whatever we will pass for this function, that would be printed. Hello name. In here the name is John. Hello John, welcome to the Kotlin function class. In here the name is Alice. Hello Alice, welcome to the Kotlin function class. I have called them 2 times. 2 message will be shown on the console. First is this one, hello John, welcome to the Kotlin function class. The second is hello Alice, welcome to the Kotlin function class. Yeah guys, this was about theory part. See you guys in the demo section. This is the demo section. I have already created a program named my function. If you didn't create, go to here, click on new project, name your project like my function, click on create button. In this demo section I will solve 3 problems. This is the first problem, this is the second problem, this is the third problem. At the end of this demo section you will be quite clear with function. So let's see what we have in the first problem. Greeting customer at a shop. Imagine we are building a system that greets customers when they enter a shop. I will solve it without function to show you how I am repeating myself. Programmers are saying don't you repeat yourself. There's a principle, they are calling it DRY, don't repeat yourself. In here you will see without function how I am repeating myself. Then I will solve it with function to show you how function is reusable and how I'm not repeating myself to doing the same thing again and again. Yeah, and in here I'm using function with no parameters and no return type to show you we can use a function without parameters and return type. So let's solve the first problem. Now in here I'm gonna solve it without function. So suppose first customer will enter to our shop and I have to greet the person. So for in here I'm gonna use from println function, println again. I'm gonna use from println function to display this message. Again I'm gonna use from println function to display this message. At the end I'm gonna use /n to have a new line. At the end I'm gonna use /n to separate the greeting for first customer and for second customer. In here suppose second customer enter to our shop. For again I will write the same message for the second customer, println I'm gonna copy these 2 other messages to save the time. And suppose in here again the third customer will enter and I have to greet the third customer. I should write same greeting for third customer. You will write the same greeting for third customer. As you can see, for each customer, I am writing 3 messages. Hello, welcome to our shop. Hope you find what you are looking for. If you need help, feel free to ask. If the first customer enter, I said this. Again, the second customer came, I said this. The same thing. Again, the same thing. I'm repeating myself. Now, what should I do to not repeat myself and achieve the same functionality? In here, I'm going to use from function. How I can declare a function using fan keyword. I will name it greet open brackets, close brackets. Inside of curly bracket, you should write your logic. What I will write in here, I have to write the same thing, same message. Hello, welcome to our shop. Hope you find what you are looking for. If you need help, feel free to ask. To save the time, I'm going to copy this and paste it here. Now, before this, I forgot to run the program to show you how it is looking like. Now I comment this. First, let's run the program and see. As you can see, for first customer came, said hello, welcome to our shop. Hope you find what you're looking for. If you need help, feel free to ask. Again, the same message for second customer, for third customer. Now let's comment this. Now if I run the program, as you can see, it is empty because I have commented. Now let's do the same thing with function, and you will see how I'm reducing the line of code and how the function is reusable. So I've already created a function called greet customer. So I have already created a function named greet customer. Now how I can use this function? I should copy the name in here with function. I will come here and paste the name and I will use brackets. Now using this, I call this function. First I will call it for first customer. For second customer, again I'm going to call it. See, when I'm writing 2 3 later of it, there will be suggestion for me. There's a function, as you can see the symbol, there is a function named greet customer. Enter on this. As you can see, again I've called it for second customer. If I run this, you can see for first customer, once I have called it, as you can see the message, hello, welcome to our shop. Hope you find what you're looking for. If you need help, feel free to ask. Again, the same message for second customer. Now for third customer, what you will do, again you will call the function. As you can see, I printed the same message for 3 customers. If 10 customers come to our shop, we will write 10 times. We will call the function 10 times. Without function, you have to write this 10 times. There will be many lines of code and our program will not be readable, and I am repeating myself, which is not good. So, and also with function, when you want to change some message in here, for example, you want to add more information, I will add in here another println, say thank you. If I write this will be applied for all 3 customers. As you can see in here, this message will be shown for all 3 customers. As you can see, hello, welcome to our shop. Hope you find what you are looking for. If you need help, feel free to ask. As you can see, there is an empty line because of this. I have to cut it from here and paste it in here. Now that will be resolved. As you can see, now it is resolved. For all 3 customers, the same messages shown. If I am not using from function, I have to write the same message, this message for all 3 customers. As you can see in here, this is first customer, I have to write it here. Second customer, write it here. For the first customer, I have to write this here, and from all the three I have to remove this. This would be a lengthy process. That is why function makes everything easy for us. Yeah guys, this was all about first question. Now I'm gonna solve the second question. So guys, let's solve the second problem. The second problem is write a function in Kotlin to add two numbers. The function should take two numbers as a parameters and return their sum. In this example, I would use a function with parameters and return type. You will see in here. In here, I'm gonna declare a function. The name of function should be add numbers. This function will return integer, and it takes two parameters. The first parameter is integer, and the second parameter is also integer. In here, I'm gonna return the sum of these two numbers. So let's return it. Return a plus b. Now in here, using its name, I'm gonna call this function. Here I'm gonna declare a variable valid sum 1 equal to, here I'm gonna call the function. I'm gonna pause first 2 and 5. So as you can see in here, I have called the function named add numbers, and I have paused two values. The first value is 2 and the second value is 5. A will hold 2 and B will hold 5. And in here, as you can see, 2 5. In here I will return 2 plus 5. 2 plus 5 is equal to 7, and this function will return 7. 7 will be assigned to this variable. Now I'm gonna print it using println function. So the now let's run the program and see the result. As you can see, the sum of 2 and 5 is equal to 7, because this function will return 7, and it will be stored to this variable, and in here I have printed this variable which holds 7. So let's use the same function one more time. Val sum2 add. This time I'm gonna pause 100 500, and using this println function I'm gonna print it. Here I have to change the variable sum to. Let's run the program and see the result. As you can see, this first println function is printing this, and the second println function is printing this message. The sum of, sorry, in here I have to change 100 and 500. Again I'm gonna run it. So as you can see, the sum of 100 and 500 is 600. So guys, this was about second problem. Let's solve the third problem. I'm gonna comment this to not make you confused. So let's solve the third problem. The third problem is we need to print a thank you message every time a user finishes their purchase. In here I'm gonna use from two ways. In the first way, I'm not gonna use function. In the second way, I'm gonna use function, and you will see why function is better in here and how it makes the code concise and readable. So let's solve the problem and see. So first let's see without using function. In here first user has done his purchase and I have to say thank you. So I'm gonna use from println function to show the message thank you. And I'm gonna use another println function to write this message. Let's run the program and see. As you can see, for the first user, he has done his purchase and I have printed a message. Thank you for your purchase. We hope to see you again. Now the second user also has done his purchase and I have to write the same message for that user too. And here simply I'm gonna copy this and paste it here. Second user. If I run the program, you will see same message two times for first user, for second user. Now another user, the third user has done his purchase and I have to write the same message. Simply I'm gonna copy and paste third user. If I run the program, you will see the same message three times for three different users. As you can see in here, there is too many lines of code and on top of that it is not readable. So let's do the same thing using function. I have to print these two messages. Simply I'm gonna copy this. In here I'm gonna declare a function fun message. This is the name of function and this function will print these two messages. Now the same thing that I have done in here for first user, I have to print the message. Now the first user has done his purchase and I have to print thank you message, and the second message is we hope to see you again. I have to write those two messages. How I can do it? I have already declared the function. I have to call that function. Now in here for first user, I'm gonna call the function thank message. If I run this program, you are going to see the output. As you can see the output, thank you for your purchase, we hope to see you again. The same thing which I have done in here, but only in one line of code. In here I am writing two lines of code and it is not readable. As you can see, if there are thousands of users, it will be too lengthy and it will not be readable, and it will be too much difficult for a programmer or another programmer who is coming to your program and reading your program. It will be too much tough for them to understand your program. So now the second user has done his purchase. Now I have to say thank you. Again I'm gonna call the same function. If I run the program, you will see. So you are seeing the same message two times. As you can see, this is for first user, this is for second user. If there is third user, simply you can call the same function again. If I run the program, you will see three times. First user, this is for first user, for second user, for third user. If there are thousands of users, simply you can call it 1000 times. So guys, thank you for watching. This was all about basic functions in Kotlin. keep learning, keep practicing. See you in the next one.